Hey everyone, it's Maria Elena, and I'm super excited to be back here with you on a Monday afternoon. As I begin to think about what I'll be sharing about in the space of Homegirl's Guide to Self-Love, I thought it'd be really important to build a relationship with all of you. Because people are probably like, who the hell is this Haina? She acts like she knows it all, when in fact, I don't know shit. All I know is what I bring to the table, and that's my life experience. So I guess to qualify for that, I should tell you my age and how much life experience I do have. For me to share my age is a big step in my growth, because for a long time I didn't want you guys to know how old I was. But today I take ownership of it. I have to embrace it and grow into it and know that I've experienced a lot of shit to get to where I'm at. And I'm very proud of who I am today. So I have 43 years of life experience. Okay, it's out there. But you know what? I have a spirit of a 21-year-old. A 21-year-old who's ready to live and love and just embrace life. So who's Maria Elena? I was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I was given up for adoption as a newborn and was adopted at 3 days old. I've been very fortunate to have the parents that I have. At moments I might feel like I'm not supported, but I have to embrace that I have so much love and support from them. Parenting, as I parent, might be different to them because I connect to a lot of things that I missed as a child and to how I want to parent my children, and how I don't parent my children. I have 5 kids, and I'm not in all their lives, and I have to take responsibility for that and things that I need to work on myself to be able to be the best parent they deserve. And I think part of that's my healing process, and that's what the connection to Homegirlz de Corazon and my blogging, as well as the Homegirl's Guide to Self-Love, is really important to me. So I was born, I grew up in New Mexico at a young age. We moved to Texas for a year. We finally moved to California, to Coachella Valle, when I was almost 7 years old. When I was 7 years old, I began to experience things that really would change my life. I was molested, raped at that age, and I have a blog that I talk a little bit more about that. But I'll do a video blog that's more personal. And that really affected how I saw love. As children, we just love from our hearts. There's no conditions to it. But things that we begin to experience, such as what I did, trauma, violence, not being raised by your own parents, incarceration, all these things that could impact us, impacted me. My father was an alcoholic. I'm extremely proud of him because he has over 10 years sober. But it took a journey for him, and I was a part of that to kind of understand my own addictions. So I didn't really have a foundation growing up. When I hit the age of, I believe it was 12, is when my parents finally decided to divorce. And that was hard for me. I felt like I was doing my dad wrong for not staying with him or being there for him. But I also understand that he wasn't at his best in parenting. I also didn't have a strong relationship with my mother, and it totally threw my life off. We did a lot of moving back to New Mexico, coming back to California. I began to use drugs. I began smoking cigarettes. I was doing anything not to feel the way I felt. I was in my 10th grade year when I dropped out of high school because I didn't feel connected. I did not feel accepted. I did not love myself. And it was everything that I experienced growing up as a young girl that impacted that space of my life. And when I do workshops for Homegirlz de Corazon and blogging, I really try to connect who were you when you were 3 and 4 years old? What were you experiencing? When you're 11, 12, 13, how did that begin to change your life? We have teen pregnancies, we have drug addiction, we get jumped into the neighborhood, we get connected, we fall in love with that vato who just wants to, we feel protected by because we didn't feel protected as a young child. We get caught up in this thing to numb that pain that we've experienced as young children. And that's how I kind of talk about how we blog with Homegirlz de Corazon, because then we get to the space of where are you at now? What makes you feel empowered? How did that pass to this middle part to now create the woman that you are? And so, I really began to see how things began to impact my life. I got jumped into the neighborhood when I moved back to California when I was 15. I had anger at women. I had anger at the homegirls. I always hung out with the younger homegirls because I could manipulate them. I always wanted to be that older homegirl that they would look up to or they'd be scared of, when in fact I was the one who was really, really scared. And I'll talk more about those individual times that I experienced that, I really connected with my homies, like the vatos, because I felt safe, I felt protected, I felt accepted, and I didn't feel that with my younger homegirls. And so I just needed to fit in. That was me, always trying to fit in. I started smoking methamphetamines when I was 16, not a lot, but it kind of kicked off the idea where like I could keep going, like I could keep living this lifestyle and I didn't have to stop, because I didn't want to be at home. I picked up my first GTA charge, which in fact, as a woman of color, you would be like, okay, the GTA charge, did she go steal someone's car? No, I took my dad's car. And I got pulled over, did it a few times, and because I'm a person of color, I ended up picking up a charge, and I went to juvenile hall when I was 17 years old, and I was 3 months pregnant with my son, my oldest daughter, Angelica. Excuse me, we have a visitor. And so that was kind of my teen years, I was very, very lost. Very lost. I wish I could go back now and tell that young girl and tell her she didn't have to go through what she had to go through to be where I'm at today. I spent a lot of time in my healing process talking with the little girl who didn't feel wanted, who didn't feel pretty enough, who felt fat. I wish I could just embrace her. And I have to, when I like do my meditations and stuff, I connect with her and I have to tell her, like, Marilena, like, I did it all for you. You don't have to hurt anymore, And I think that's when I began to acknowledge healing that little girl and connecting with that teenage girl within myself spiritually, that I began to look at the self like, I'm worth something. I'm strong. I'm resilient. I'm beautiful inside and out. Like, it was no longer about the outside. It began with the inside job. Like, I began to feel beautiful about myself. I began to build relationships with women. Empathy was really important, because usually a lot of times I don't like women or they trigger me. It's because I usually see something in them that I don't like about myself in my past, or that I need to work on. So that's just kind of like an intro to who Marilena is. There's a lot more to my story. I said I have 5 children, 5 fathers, and I no longer try to use the language of baby daddy, because I have to respect them, because without them, I wouldn't have the beautiful children that I have now. And so that's just kind of a quick intro. I'll get more into like what happened to me as a young girl. I'll connect it to how, coming from the neighborhood and how I put myself in these spaces. My drug addiction and where that led me to, and how I lost my kids to the system, got them back and still got loaded. And how it led me to San Diego, and how that began to create myself in a space of education and empowerment, and how I'm able to do the things that I do now. Sometimes I forget how fucking amazing I am. Like, I really do. And it's because it's like that self-worth or like not feeling good enough will start taking over in my mind. And like, I've done some amazing things. I am formerly incarcerated. I went through, juvenile and county system, and I get to use my experiences about what my life is about. I get to create these safe spaces to talk about healing and growth. And right now I'm kind of in a space to like, what's next for Marilena? Like, my job just came to an end. Am I gonna like put myself in a situation where I'm in a working experience where I'm not happy and I can't be who I am? Because there's a lot of judgments with my looks. I got tattoos. I'm getting more tattoos. But I have to remember my worth. And I think right now I'm in a place in my life where I'm so tired of trying to fit into other people's lives, because that's what I did that kept me broken, that I'm now having to create the world for myself that will fit with who Marilena is. And so right now I'm just really connected with my spiritual gifts. I have the ability of energy healing, and I'm creating these candles. Oh, that's my baby. He's messaging me. I'm creating these candles for Homegirlz del Corazon, and they're called the Baby Girl. Thank you for learning to love all your beautiful scars. And I'm super excited because I have ordered the crystals for them that I will be putting inside, and I will do Reiki energy into them. And I think it's been very important that with these abilities and gifts that I have, that I include that into Homegirlz del Corazon, because many of us have it, we just don't know how to work with them. Like, no one's taught me, I've had to teach myself. And I want to create that space to, create this healing energy for us and on our people. So I'm super excited. This is my first set. But I'm going to be doing a contest out there for all of you guys. And what I'm going to do is I really would like, the support on social media to push out there, not only Homegirlz de Corazon or the Homegirlz Guide to Self-Love, but these candles, because I think they're very important to this healing process for many of us. And so I will be coming on live, like maybe live video or how we're going to do this contest. But if you guys are interested in having a candle, I'm going to show you how to win one. So look forward to it. I'm so excited. And I'm working on my next set right now. So I got to get back to work. I love all of you guys. I'm telling you, much love and light. And I'll get back to you guys soon. Bye. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.